Greetings, Dumalang Samunani, Makadi say, respectful and the most humble greetings to everyone. My name is Buhle and the same name is Khadebe Kotanda ke ngatiwena kumakhadebe ubhungane umthimkhulu umasobodo mashama hlisongelengele ihlubi elihle kuthiwa ke uNkulunkulu mkhulu kodwa akangangasilo ubhungane kuthiwa ubhungane ngisilo esikhulu esigalwe imithi emikhulu emincane ibivele isizwe. With that said, I have respected everyone and I have hated everyone. So, if you've been following this channel, if you started this channel with me, you know very much that I have been very inconsistent in this channel, but it's okay because amongst having all of this, life needs to happen, and sometimes one is going to get in the way of the other, and when time avail itself, we create time to go and do fun things like creating YouTube channels. With that said, I greet you guys, but besides, I've been away from my home country, and I recently moved to South Korea to teach English with the EPIK program, which is essentially what today's video is about. I want to talk about EPIK, preparing for EPIK, and coming to the EPIK orientation. So this video is basically for new EPIK applicants, new expats coming to Korea, coming with the EPIK program, and this is where my knowledge is, right? I want to emphasize something with this video. I want to specifically say that there's so many YouTube channels, right? There's so many YouTube channels that I know if you're watching this video, you have already watched because you are trying to prepare, right? They speak about anything and everything, right? And so this video is not me sort of recycling the material that has already been produced by other YouTubers from last year to this year. But actually, this specific video is here to emphasize some of the points that previously produced videos have been saying. So I'm just here to sort of contribute to the discourse on EPIK, and I'm thinking my journey, if you followed my journey coming to EPIK, or if you have encountered me and some of the things that I was having issues with, you would know that mine was very much a bit complex, and I think that sharing some of these complexities and finding resolutions to some of the issues that I had might actually give somebody else an answer to some of the questions that they might already have, right? So let's start with the EPIK application. So remember what I said there's already knowledge. So if you are in your foundation, you still need to understand what you are needing. Then there's so many videos that are going to tell you that. But personally, I just want us to get to the EPIK application. That's where we're gonna begin, right? And the EPIK application is I think it's 11 pages long, right? 11 pages long of an application with 3 essays, right? And I want us to start the first section of the application, it speaks about you, it's just your information. The second part of the application is your traveling, if you're well traveled, or any traveling information you might share, as well as any medical history, right? That is where you disclose some of the things. And in today's video, I want us to speak specifically about that section of traveling, right? If you have experienced traveling and not necessarily living in another country, maybe you have been to Swaziland for tourism purposes, don't be afraid in your EPIK application to put on those short traveling trips that you've done, because that section is there to actually show them the diversity that is in your like how far you've traveled. It does not necessarily mean that you've settled in another country, but in you saying, I have traveled to 15 countries, or I am interested in exploring other countries, because I know this is something that we say in our essays. How far within your own jurisdiction, right? For example, SADC, South Africa from SADC. How far within the SADC have I been? And why was I going to those countries? Tourist purposes. That gives somebody who's reading your application an idea that you are actually interested in traveling. This is not your first time you're going to be leaving your home country, but the thing of you traveling in other countries shows that you are interested in other people's cultures, you are interested in other people's way of being and way of living, right? So please, in your EPIK application, don't forget that, right? And then let's go to our essays, right? You're going to be writing an essay. One essay speaks about cultural shock, how you deal with cultural shock. The second essay speaks about your teaching methodology, and then the third one speaks about why you want to teach English in South Korea. Let's start with cultural differences. Within your own country, whether you are from, I know specifically in my country in South Africa, we've got different kinds of tribes, right? And that dimension is something within my own country that I used to sort of substantiate how I deal with cultural differences, because obviously the way us Zulus live, it's totally different to how Shaman people live, to how Venda people live. And so I used my own reality, something that is applicable, and know that I'm not going to forget because it is within my own people. So I wrote that in writing about my how I will deal with cultural differences. But also, you've been to school, you've been to university. This is why you're doing EPIK, because you've been to university, right? And that was the ground for you to experience different people who come from different backgrounds, who come from different cultural identities. And that is a niche right there that you can take. Those are pointers you can take, right? What that tells the next person is, it tells them that actually you are not looking at things of cultural differences from a far perspective, but you are able to even identify them within your own inner cycle, within your own radius, right? Within your own country. So you are always, it also tells them that you are a person that's aware. Because if you're gonna look at it and say, I think this is how I'm gonna deal with cultural differences, you are telling them that you are sort of not aware of their own, like you're sort of not aware of the diversity within your own radius as a person, right? And I just want to add that, right? Like I said, we are not changing anything. I'm just making additions to the information that has already been produced by other YouTubers. Now, when it comes to the essay question of why South Korea, guys, do your research. Like, do your research when it gets to that. Find something that is happening within South Korea and find how you are actually going to contribute. And literally, how are you going to contribute? Find faults within the, like, I think I'm saying critique, but at the same time, don't critique, don't negatively criticize. Positively criticize to open up a passage, to show space where you fit in, right? Where you fit in. or if you don't critique, identify what the NIEED is doing within Korea in terms of education, and identify how far their progress has gone. How far have they gone? Do they still need people who understand this mandate? And maybe then that could be a passage for you to answer that question. So when you are going to answer your essay questions, try to be critical, right? Try to apply critical thinking by all means necessary. I just wish that somebody had told me this when I was doing my EPIK application, but unfortunately I had to do it so that I can emerge with the knowledge to share with other people, right? And so moving forward, we are going to the interview question, right? If you've been invited to your EPIK interview, what are some of the things that you need to prepare for the EPIK interview? First things first, prepare your personality. I can't stress this enough. Prepare your personality. Don't alter your personality. Prepare your personality. If you are this kind of a person, right? There's introverted people, there's extroverted people, different kinds of personality. And within different kinds of personality, in the EPIK program, there is space for us all. Different kinds of personality. So prepare your personality. Let it shine through in the interview. Don't overdo it, but be sure to make sure that it's visible. It's visible that I'm actually not an extrovert if I'm not an extrovert. But the fact that I'm an introvert means that blah, 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 right? So make certain things by interacting with the interviewer. Make your personality be visible. That's the first thing. Secondly, study your essays. There's nothing in the EPIK interview that they're going to ask you that you did not tell them in your EPIK application. So those essays, know them. That's why I was saying in the beginning that be truthful in those essays. Incorporate your reality, the current reality that you are living. Incorporate it that way. You won't have to remember, because it's your real lived experience. It's your real accumulated knowledge. So you don't always have to change it. So even if another question comes in a way that you don't expect it to come, you would be able to locate the thought. Oh, it's okay, fine. This was my thought while I was writing it in the essay, right? So that's the second thing that I want to say with regards to interviews. It's that please, by all means necessary, know your essays. Knows your essays. There's nothing in your interview that they're going to ask you that you did not speak about, right, in your essays, that you did not give them. So it's basically them verifying. Most of the time it's basically them verifying what the things you wrote in your application. And this is not only based on my experience, but also because I've been to the EPIK orientation. I was finding out from other applicants, how was your interview? What was it about? And most of us, one of the common things that we shared was that it sort of felt like it was just a verification of things that I had written in my application. Fine. Now, the third thing is study certain trends in South Korea. What are the recent trends in South Korea? What are the trends between 2023, 2024, right? What is trending? What does the youth like? How is it relevant, or how can it be applicable within the learning system, within the educational system in South Korea, right? So just study that and prepare. And then there's the issue of lesson plan. I know the lesson plan is probably gonna give you a whole lot of time, but please let me tell you something. Just to simplify, just go on the internet and Google lesson plan. If you are planning to come to elementary, or you're planning to come to middle school, or you're planning to teach at a high school, Google lesson plans. Change those lesson plans and alter them to suit the context of South Korea. That way, you don't have to stress about doing a completely new lesson plan, more especially if you don't have a background in education and you don't know what happens in a lesson plan or how a lesson plan needs to be like. Check them out on the internet. They are all over the internet. They're everywhere, right? Yes. And then, yes, interview questions, right? Guys, be specific about where you want to go within the EPIK orientation. They would ask you, your interviewer would say, okay, you said your interview, you said in your application that you want to move to, you are open to, you are flexible in your location. Where do you want to go? Have an idea, at least give them 2 or 3 places of where you would like to go. Because some of the things that you guys do, you go and write that you're flexible, and then they put you somewhere, and then you're suddenly not happy. And I'm like, but they asked you this question, right? They ask you this question. So have at least an idea of plan A, plan B, plan C. Because they would ask you, even if you did list a location, if you don't get that location, which other location would you like to go to? Say, this is the location, this is the second option, or this location, and why? That's why I'm saying research. Do your research around where you want to go, right? Yeah. And then, right, for everyone, right? I know recommendation letters are important for everyone. Academic transcripts are important, but now I want to touch on things like your proof of English learning letters. In South Africa, we do, if you're a South African, you do need to have proof of English letters, right? Go and get them from your primary school. Go to your primary school, ask them for proof of English letters. Go to your high school, ask for proof of English letters. They're not going to give you a problem. However, what I know is that oftentimes you're going to need to have to go there in person, right? I personally had an issue with accessing them because I wanted to get them digitally and they were refusing. But yeah, I think you have to go there in person and you will get them. Academic transcripts, if you are like me, one college, university, there, blah, 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 gather all your transcripts. Don't say there's a phase within your academic journey that is not important. Don't declare it as unimportant. Let EPIK decide that it's unimportant, all right? So gather all your transcripts that have contributed to you getting the final degree or the final master's or whatever. Gather all of them and go and submit that with your final documents, right? And then again, also to my South African babies, to people from home, guys, please make sure you get the RC01, right? RC01, which is the tax residence from South Africa. It's easier when you get it from SARS, right? Push to get it from SARS. Push to get it from SARS. Because if you're going to come and get it the site at a community center, we are talking 250K, right? Not 250K thousand, but 250K KRW, right? Korean won. So it's 250,000 Korean won. which now becomes much more expensive, whereas at home you would have gotten it for free. So please don't get tired of contacting SARS and finding out when they are going to give you your your RC01, right? And if you've got a driver's license and you think you are going to stay for so long in South Korea that you're going to need to get driving, it's much easier for you to get an international driver's license at home than to come here and work on finding or work on converting your driver's license from South Africa. Much rather get an international driver's license from South Africa and come this side already with an international driver's license, right? And then, okay, I wrote my notes, so I need to mark everything so that I'm sure that I've spoken about everything I wanted to talk about here. Right, now let's say you really make it through with EPIK and you get your final placement and you come to South Korea, right? Okay, no, before we go there, let's speak about this. I want us to speak about the issue of advanced diplomas and degrees, all right? You find that a lot of people want to find out what if I've got an advanced diploma, does that mean that I don't qualify for EPIK, right? So with EPIK, you can't get in only with the advanced diploma, right? Please mark what I'm saying. You can't get in with only the advanced diploma, but you can get in with the advanced diploma plus an honors degree, because an honors degree is a bachelor's degree, all right? So essentially is an upgrade from the advanced diploma, right? So then by virtue of you now having a level 8, you can get into the EPIK. But if your level 7 is the advanced diploma, then you can't come into EPIK. But if you've got a level 7 that's an advanced diploma and a level 8, which is a BA honors, then you can come to South Korea. EPIK will accept your application. I know this, I am telling you from personal experience, okay? So advanced diploma alone, no, but advanced diploma, honors degree, bachelor's honors degree, yes, you can come to South Korea and teach with the EPIK program, right? So also now, yeah, I just wanted to speak about that with regards to EPIK. But now let's say you have you have gotten placement, you've passed your interview, you've gotten placement, and you are finally coming to South Korea, right? You attend your EPIK orientation and everything goes well for you. Medicals go well. Guys, speaking of medicals, don't take things for granted when it comes to medicals. Don't take things for granted, guys. Don't smoke. Don't do anything that is going to jeopardize your medicals. Please give yourself. If you are watching this video today, from today until the day of your EPIK application, allow your system to cleanse itself of everything that is in the system, whether it is alcohol, whether it is, allow your system to cleanse itself of everything. Let it get, okay, alcohol, I see. Your weed, you are not, your pregnancy. Guys, at the time that we were at the orientation, right? This is like a month ago, right? At the time that we were at the EPIK orientation, like four people, four people, four people were sent back, and four of those people, two were South Africans. Two were South Africans, right? Because of things that were found in their medicals. And if there's something like your false positives, trust me, EPIK will call you. They will call you to the office to retake. But there's things that evidently show that this is not a false positive. This is what it is. This is what it is. And they will send you back. I don't want to lie. They will send you back. I don't want to lie. They will send you packing. So please, if you are coming here, please allow your system to cleanse itself of everything that is in there. Right? Okay, fine. So now everything has gone well. Let's go back to what I was talking about. Now everything has gone well, and you find yourself now having been done. Okay, you are receiving communication that you got placement within this MOE. If your MOE, which is your Metro Office of Education, has not yet booked an appointment for you at immigration, communicate. They will send you an email. Your MOE will get in touch with you. Send them back an email to ask if it's possible that they can send you, or that they can make an appointment at immigration, or speak to someone at EPIK. Ask them if they can ask the MOE to get you an appointment at immigration. If you've got an appointment, your ARC will literally take you 1 week. It took me like within 5 days, I already had my ARC, right? Why? Because our appointments were pre-booked, right? And so then I started finding this information that actually, if you come to South Korea and your appointment is pre-booked at immigration, then kudos, you will get your ARC quick, fast, right? And last but not least, guys, this is one thing that I want to talk about, right? Banks. When you get here, when you get to South Korea, you go to your MOE, and finally it's now you and your school. They will ask you where you want to open your bank. Guys, if you can, tell them you would like to open your bank at Hana Bank. Ask to have an account at Hana Bank. Hana Bank is the most friendly, foreign-friendly bank that is here in South Korea. Hana Bank is everywhere within Korea. Hana Bank is everywhere within other countries, right? But not in our South Africa. So it's going to be easier for you to have a Hana Bank if you're a South African citizen, and I'm guessing that even with other citizens as well. Because if you don't know Hangul, they've got English lines. They've got both your apps. You're going to have two apps. You're going to have the English app. You're going to have the South Korean, the Korean app, right? They open on Sundays. They've got branches throughout all metro cities that open on Sundays. So in South Korea, banks close at 4. And if you're gonna need to do anything to go inside a bank, if your bank does not open on a Sunday, you are taking that from your vacation. So please, I want you guys to have your full 26 days to enjoy on vacation, okay? So if you can, get Hana Bank. And with that said, guys, you can sit through and watch the rest of the video, maybe to just recap on my journey while I was in the EPIK from the interviews to boarding my flight to landing in South Korea to the EPIK orientation. Have a nice time, guys. Bye.